what I wanted to go through in this tutorial is some of the really basic changes you can make in your patterns and drum patterns to create like a break or to change the flow slightly. Small changes that you might make to bring in new parts and things like that. The common ones that you hear in most of the music, and I'll run this short pattern which normally might be over 16 or 32 bars, but have a listen and I'll explain the changes as they go along. So here you can see a bass drum, okay, exciting. Sometimes you might drop out 4 beats, or you might drop out for 1 beat. And you could hear there each one sounded slightly different and gave a different feel to the flow, so you can chop and change. That's a very simple one for the bass drum. Another one would be that you take like a hat line or a tambourine line or something like that that gives the track a bit of pace, and here I've got a loop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly fade this loop out over time, and then what should happen is the track should pick up pace again when it comes back round. So here we go. Maybe that's not standing out enough, so we'll find the rides and we'll do it to those as well, just to try and make it stand out a bit more. I'm going to put that bass drum back in there. So you can hear the example there. If it was over 16 bars it would be a lot more subtle. You can remove items from the listener's hearing very subtly and then create the feel that a new part's been added when it hasn't. You're just reusing an old part in a new way, and it gives it quite a nice like lift to the track. I'd use this sometimes when bringing in lead lines and things. Before a big line would come in, I would be fading out lots of different elements. I may even be EQing the bottom off the bass drum or something like that. I'd go to the track, I'd take the EQ and I'd basically sweep upwards on it to remove the bass slowly. If you're lucky enough to be in Ableton or something like that, you can literally just hit F9 and record away and just fade it manually. And there you go, you see it's just recorded and picked that up straight away. And using a combination of these tricks, you can do an awful lot to keep the listener engaged and have a lot of fun with what's happening with music. Some tracks would just completely break as well, like different instruments, different sounds would end at different times. What we'll do here is we'll knock a few out. That's going down, that's fine. So we'll just check that a moment. If that's working, then we might decide to put a like little bass drum fill or something in there. Let's have a look. So I'll just copy this across, and then let's have a look at what we have parameters wise there. Right, so that shows the automation. So we'll automate that sweep upwards. Resonance, don't need that. Volume, track volume. And some sounds you may find you have to manually, they call it like riding the faders, but you might have to manually you know, adjust the volume for these parts that you bring in and out. You know, just use your own ears to judge whether something needs to be louder or quieter, and go from there, just to see what that sounds like. Yeah, it's a little bit quiet, so we'll just turn it up. So you could do simple things like that, have like a snare fill just in that little gap there, just to give things a more progressive feel during the track, and those are some very simple elements.